Hi everyone, welcome to another video of Selenium obstacle series. In this, we are going to solve the seventh problem statement called meeting scheduler. So let's take a look at that. So this problem statement basically deals with a web table. The structure of the web table in terms of rows and columns is static. So we are not going to perform operation on that because that is static. Even if I refresh it multiple times, it is going to be same. And on this specific time slot, and on Thursday is what it is saying, whatever the status is coming, that we have to copy and we have to paste it here. And this is going to be in a dynamic scenario. Now, pause the video for a moment, think about the approach, how you're going to solve this. And if you're able to solve this problem statement, don't forget to mention comment solved in the comment section of the video. Now let's get started. So I will quickly create a class here. Okay. And this is our seventh problem statement called meeting scheduler. So I'm going to use the same naming convention, meeting scheduler. I'll select public static void main and we'll get started with the basic code to launch the browser and a basic implicit wait. Okay. So let me quickly write that. Browser launch web driver is equal to new, new Chrome driver, and let's quickly import both of these. And driver dot get URL, and we'll copy the URL where our problem statement exists. So I'll quickly copy this and I'll paste it here. Okay. Just in case the element load is going to take time, I prefer to put a implicit wait, just one line statement, very easy. Driver dot manage dot timeouts dot implicitly wait duration dot off seconds, and we are going to put 5 here. Okay. Now let's see how we are going to be able to reach this specific stage. Okay, so we have to understand, whenever we are dealing with web tables, a web table is formed of rows and columns. Okay, so we have to see the structure and understand how a web table is designed in HTML first. Okay, so let me inspect this. Okay, and let's try to go to the table first. Okay. Okay, maybe I can do it from here. Yeah, you see here, if I'm clicking on this, this is highlighting the entire table. Okay, and inside the table we have tr and td. Okay, now tr is the row and td is the value, and inside this we have specific column values, header values, and similarly the entire structure is there. So here you see, in the first tr we have the first column, the first row, which says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then we have another tr, which contains all the values in the row format. So we will go in the row format and we'll try to reach here. Now, since Thursday and this is static, we will approach in this specific way, and we will try to fetch this value. In case this was dynamic, we have to handle it in a different way. But since that is not the situation, we are going to approach directly from going from this row and then navigating to this specific value and fetching it. So let me do a control F and let's get started. Let me move this little up so that it becomes little bigger. Okay. So the first thing is we'll navigate to the table. Okay. So I'm going to write a XPath for this. So /table. Okay. Now since there is only one table, we are good to proceed forward from this. Okay. Now you see, I need to go to this specific row, right? And here you see, this is what it is pointing to. Okay. But before that, there is a TR. So whatever way, if you want to skip that, you can skip that as well. And let's skip that for the moment. Okay. And what we'll do is /TD. Okay. Now you see, TD is pointing to a lot of different values. So we have to specifically come to this row. So what we can do, we can use text equal to this specific value, which is 11 to 13. Okay, so let me copy this and I will put it here. Okay, You can write XPath in different ways as well. This is just one way which I'm trying. Okay. Now you see, I am getting one out of one value. So I am in the right row right now. Okay. This is the row from which I want to fetch, but this is giving me one out of one and it is pointing me here, but I want to go here. Okay. So since I'm already inside the child element, I have to go back to the parent element. So and then I'll try to fetch the value which is what I desire. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll say forward slash and I'll say tr here. Okay. Sorry, forward slash tr. Uh, my bad. I have to write first parent and then double colon and then tr. Okay. So when you are inside the child element and you have to traverse to the parent element, we have to use parent and then double colon and then whatever is the value of that. So tr, so this is basically pointing us back to the parent. Okay. Now after this we have to jump inside the child. Okay. So we can always come from parent to child very easily. We don't have to define anything. So what I'll do, I'll say forward slash td. Okay. Now I have five values here, one, two, three, four, five, six values here, but I want basically this value, right? So this is going to be at the uh, fourth or the fifth position. Let's see. So what I'll say four, and this is not right. So fifth position. Okay. So you see now I'm able to fetch the exact value of this using this XPath. Let me copy this and let me put it in a notepad, and we can explore other ways also of writing the XPath in case you're not preferring this or you want to approach in a different way. Okay. So see, first of all, we went into the table, then we filtered the text using 11 to 13, which is of our desired scenario. Now, since we are inside the column, we have to jump back to the parent. For that, we have to use one single forward slash and we have to write parent and we have to write double colon. Okay. After double colon, whatever is the parent value. So there, that is tr. So that's why I'm saying tr. Now coming from, now this is pointing to the entire row now. Now I have to move to the fifth value so that I can easily use td5 here. Okay. Now, is this the only way? No, there are other ways as well, whatever way you want to approach. So let's take a different way by which we can do that. So let's say I go into the table here. Okay. And after this, let's say I go into tr. Okay. And this is not the tr which I want. This is the tr which I want, right? Now inside this, I want to go to the td. Okay. So what I'll say, I will say td. And since this is at the first location, I can hard code it as well here, whatever way you prefer. Okay. I'm just showing one more way to write it. And there could be multiple approaches. So whichever way works for you better, you can use that. So let me write this. Now in this way, you see, it is still in the parent because I'm defining the child inside. So the path is not changing. So that's why I don't need to write parent here. Okay. So I'm able to come to this specific value. Okay. Now after this, I have to navigate to the fourth value here. Okay. Now in this case, since I'm already here, what I need to do is I need to use another keyword which is called as sibling. So this is the parent and these all are childs of this. Okay. Now these all are siblings of this. Okay. So what you can do is you can mention following, okay, colon sibling. Okay. But we have mentioned following sibling, right? But which sibling do I want? Okay. So I have to mention that value as well. Okay. So I have to mention td. Uh, 1 second. So yeah, so I have to do a forward slash td. I'm sorry about the syntax. It is for following hyphen sibling and then colon and then I have to mention td here. Okay. So see now it is pointing to all the five elements. I can just say I want to navigate to the fourth element. Okay. Now, this is still pointing to uh, two elements. So what we can do is, since this is pointing, I can put everything inside a bracket, okay, and I can put 4 here. Okay. So different ways how you want to navigate. If you want to navigate uh, uh, the previous structure, you can use that, or if you want to navigate it this way, you can use that. In this way, we are going inside the child element and then using following sibling. In the above case, we are going to the actual element and then we are traversing back to the parent and then getting the specific child. Okay. So whichever works for you, you can use that. There is no issue in using both of these, whichever works for you. Okay. Now let's get forward with this. Okay. So since we are able to fetch the value, let's say driver dot find element by dot x path. Okay. And I'll just copy one of these x paths and I'll put it. Okay. Now, even copy pasting, I want to confirm if it is actually fetching the value or not, right? So let me just move this here. So let's see, table td text 11 to this parent tr td 5. Okay, I can remove this. It's not required. Okay, now let's print this out. Okay, so I'll write sys out and we will put this inside the println statement just to see if it is actually fetching the value or not. Now understand this thing that this is a web element. So I basically want the value of it. Okay, so I'll say get text. So that is going to print the actual value. Okay, let's run this quickly and see if it is fetching the real value dynamically or not. And if it works fine, then we are going to just pass that. Okay, so it is saying open. Let's see what was the status. So this is open. Okay, pretty standard, pretty easy. Now let's go back and quickly capture this. This is the easiest part. So what is the ID is result text. Let me just copy this. Okay, and I'll say driver dot find element by dot id. I'll mention this value. Okay, and we need to pass a send keys here, and send key should contain that value, right? So here we are printing it. Let's remove this and store it in a string. Okay, and let me remove this. Okay, okay. I'll just write string status is equal to this, and I'll just pass this value here, status. Okay, and let's see if this works or not. So all you got to know is about the XPath and how to navigate to parent and child element. And we are able to successfully solve our problem statement. You are going to find the code, the link and everything in the description section. And make sure you comment solved if you're able to solve this problem statement. Do like, share and subscribe. Let's see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.